1201.
Man, I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. How's everybody doing for this live show? This show is for you. To say thank you and to give us a little bit of technological practice. So we haven't done these little interview things before. We got two people here, Chris and Angie, to give us a little bit. Uh-oh, now I've got to turn down. We've got to turn down this one. Hold on, stand by. Go. All right, that's set. All right, let's do it. Let's go surfing. How's everybody doing today? Can't wait to introduce you to the big Ange. All right, where's my video? There we go. All right, now, look what we have here. All right, just a little bit of overview for you guys. All right, here's what I came up with for kind of like an agenda. First, we're going to meet our guest, Angie. You can already see her in the bottom of the screen. I have a couple of astrology notes to get to you guys, some things that are upcoming, and I think they are of great interest. And then I want to do a quick review of some of the important DreamBot runs, specifically one of them. And it's going to be kind of not like a lessons learned or anything, but sort of like a lessons learned, but more of better understanding of how we can use the DreamBot in the future, because this was pretty miraculous. And I'll have more on that later. And then we'll open it up to questions, comments. Reading all your comments, hopefully, as I do this as well. And Angie's got moderator status, so we're going to try that technology out. But then we're going to end the video with Angie doing kind of like a guided meditation, if you will. And we're going to try to do all this under excuse me, under an hour. All right. I've already made some technological mistakes, so I'm apologizing already. Just give us a little room and space to grow, and we'll be just fine. All right, with that, I think it's time to bring on Angie. So, Angie, check. How are you?
I'm nervous.
Right on. That delay is not 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But anyway, tell us a little bit about yourself, Angie. What kind of talents and skills or passions do you have?
Well, I love exploring the mysticals, the magicals, the everyday aspects of all sorts. Woo-woo.
Yeah.
Passions is, helping people direct them in a better path of living.
You know, I was going to mention where the surf reports came from to begin with, because that is an important part of Angie and my relationship. So I can't say that Angie developed the surf reports, but I can't really say that there would be a surf report without Angie. And what I mean by that is, once we met and started to get to know each other, seeing her mystical side, it spawned something in me. And so it's the relationship with us that really spawned the concept of the surf report, and then it just got developed from there. So it's almost essential, in my opinion, that Angie be a part of these surf reports, because literally without her, there would be no such thing as a surf report. And then also I wanted to say that hopefully what we're doing is improving the process, forever. I just want to keep on growing and getting more statistically sound, more accurate. And as we do that, I want to make sure that you guys know that it's not me that's giving you, these hopefully accurate predictions of influence and solution. It's the process. It's the process itself. I'm merely the conduit. And I'm sort of adamant that any one of us could do this. But at the same time, we have our specific skill sets. I've got certain skills, and some of my areas of expertise are lacking, and that's where Angie would really benefit. That's why we would benefit. We as the surf community would benefit by having her be more integrated into the surf report. So welcome, Angie.
Thank you, baby. Thank you, Chris.
Now, you recently got certified in hypnotherapy, correct?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what hypnosis is, or what you think of it as, what healing conduit or some sort of technology.
Well, really, in the definition of hypnosis, it's really kind of a questionable thing. There's really no definite explanation for a lot of it, but for me, it's just a deep relationship, getting to know yourself a little bit deeper, going into places that are, hiding from us on a daily basis too, and things that we're dealing with, and really connecting But for me, because the important part of it is the spiritual side, um, so it's really getting to know the real, true self. And in doing so, it helps clear out or deal with any trauma or issues that we've had in our past, and look at them from a totally different perspective. It's like looking into a crystal ball almost. And it just really eases the load, really gets to know it. Like you have these aha moments, and that's why. So it's just exploring from a whole different perspective and in a healing process along the way.
Mm-hmm. And having been certified myself, I see the healing qualities of it, and healing in that. I think the main healing technology in hypnosis is awareness. And at an individual level is where we're at. But pushing that into the collective unconscious is the whole concept of healing the collective mind, or healing the collective unconscious one mind at a time. I was kind of like the mantra or whatever at the National Dream Center. But without hypnosis, there's dream work. In other words, you've got to get into the subconscious to see what's there. And that goes into what I was going to talk about in the dream bot. But I wanted to start with the astrology for today's live. And just a little teaser here is this very blank chart, very bland. Let me decrease Angie's camera and zoom in. So this happens to be this year, February 14th, 2023, Valentine's Day. And I don't bring it up because it's Valentine's Day. I bring it up because there's nothing there. There's one opposition. There's one trine. It looks glorious. There's a couple of, so basically this is the chart, the next day, without any tension, without any squares, Valentine's Day. That's not too far away. Well, we have some interesting alignments. You got the Sun and Saturn together in Aquarius. So maybe some hardships for ego, or limited ego, or extra limited ego. Sun doesn't particularly like being in Aquarius, but that's one alignment there. And it'll be kind of like a very spiritual day if ego is limited even more than he already is in Aquarius with Saturn, then automatically other areas are going to grow. And so you've got now Venus and Neptune together. So that's very, very dreamy day for relationships and love and Valentine's Day. So in Pisces, we're all connected and highly spiritual, can be very passionate as well. Telepathic, like all your occult type of skills, I think, go on heightened states, particularly around relationships. So like kind of like an example, telepathy or healing. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Then what's really cool, I found we have these eclipses coming up here. The next eclipse is going to be in Aries in April 19th at a new moon. And what's interesting about the new moons this year in Aries is that you get two of them right in a row. Now, that doesn't happen all the time, but it's not extremely rare, but it doesn't really happen a lot. We've got one at the beginning, and that one's right around spring equinox. Within hours of the spring equinox or sun going into Aries, you have a new moon right there on 00. It's not like right on the cusp, but it's less than 1 degree. So that's interesting. Right on the spring equinox, you have a new moon in Aries. That's pretty cool. And then at the end, or towards the end, April 19th, you have another Aries new moon. and that one just happens to be a total solar eclipse. So it's a really big Aries season coming up in April, and I'm really looking forward to that time frame. What did I forget to mention, Angie? Anything around the spring equinox or the solar eclipse, total solar eclipse? We haven't.
No, I think that's
Okay.
the fact that, the 2 new moons in 1 month in Aries.
Makes it extra warrior-like. Makes it about self without apologizing. I think that's the gift of Aries, isn't it? Learning about self, finding self.
Yeah, headstrong. Just and getting it done.
And speaking of headstrong, just one last thing on the astrology. This next surf report is going to be huge. Aquarian, mental, mind, Mercury, everything mental, everything Aquarius on just heightened. And you see, we even have like squares that exacerbate that thing, even though they have nothing to do with Aquarius or Mercury. It's the combinations. They all seem to exaggerate the Aquarian and mental and Mercury kind of influences. So, for example, like just Mars being in Gemini, very, very mental, very adaptable, smaller projects, but highly mental. So we can get a lot of our yang is going to be spent up in the mind. And that's good for this next surf week. There's a whole lot more astrology. I haven't looked at the whole year as a whole. Listen to a couple other astrologers, and that's one thing that we're talking about doing is doing some more longer term things. I know you all have been talking about longer term, kind of surf reports, and it can't be a complete surf report if we did that because we don't have the Dreambot. The Dreambot we're doing right at the last minute. The Dreambot is basically the collective unconscious because you're looking at people's dreams and dream words and it's doing that analysis of what's the most important archetypes and metaphors and dream symbols in the collective unconscious. So we're able to look at where, like almost real time, what the collective mind is doing. And why is that important? Well, either by programming or something else, we're kind of mentally integrated. I think what Edgar Casey called that I can't remember, but just a similar word to collective unconscious. But where that mind is going is where the whole herd goes, basically. And so here's an example. Let's see if I can get some of this products up. Do you remember those Dreambot runs where the first one was December 7th, and it said that linguistic set said competition winter comp prepare. So it was like a competition. That almost sounds like a sporting event, but you could also see that as like weather war. But anyway, it was like, okay, it's really high surge score. So it is it's a yellow flag. It's saying, hey, pay attention to this. But then the very next week has the same context: shadow, scan, doctor, winter, might, trash, thing, prepare. There again, it's like specifically prepare for winter. And that's 2 weeks in a row. And that pretty high, still high surge scores. So we said, prepare for winter. And, I was thinking, I mean, that doesn't spell it out. It's not like, okay, what do we prepare for? Well, it turns out just a few weeks later, I'll give you the exact timing and everything, but you had this Arctic blast that covers the entire continental United States. And I realized that there are people in foreign countries that weren't affected by that, but the vast majority of our surfing tribe is here in the United States. So, and I'd say the Dreambot itself is mostly in the United States. In other words, the dreams that we're capturing and going out and finding on the web are mostly from the United States, but those are in a variety of countries too. We don't have the mechanism for the DreamBot to translate Spanish or any other Italian, any other foreign language. And it's all English. And the dictionary that it's based in is English. So it is sort of a English-dominated world, but nonetheless, mainly in the United States, and it says prepare for winter. So here it is. Historic winter storm, Arctic blast sweep across the U.S., setting records. And also in our area, it was well below zero, by the way. We were right on this line, but pipes freezing. I had clients moving out of their apartments, forced not evacuation, but whatever you call it. Get the hell out. We have to fix your whole apartment. And they had to spend the money to live in a hotel while they were fixing that. That was very common around this area. We almost lost our shower. But so how do we take that DreamBot then? Well, I think first of all, the timing. Let's do that. So we had the first announcement basically on the 7th of December, and then again on the 14th. And then let's get this. The Arctic blast then is on the 23rd. So you just do the math from that. That's the 7th, 14th. So on the second one, on the second announcement, they were talking about 10 days. Add 7 to that, 17. So 10 to 17 days. That's about right. That's about what it's right in the heart of, in traditional linguistics. I call these linguistics, where I take the words right next to each other and phrase it out if it makes sense. That's what I call a linguistics. And when we did Project August back in 2014, we used linguistics and we compared. When I triangulated the linguistic sets that made sense with actual dreams for predictive headlines, those were the most powerful headlines and the most accurate predictive headlines. And now in Project August, we intended for a specific month, August 2014, and we intended to dream about the headlines ahead of time. But on these on these week-to-week DreamBot runs, there is no intention, or we don't know of the intention. We're just combining the most common, the most surging dream words to try to get where the collective is going, but it doesn't particularly have an intention behind it. And so the timing on an intentionless predictive linguistics set typically runs around 10 days to 2 weeks. Sometimes we've seen up to about 6 weeks. Sometimes we've seen like just 2 days. Now, I used to be doing this DreamBot run every single day. I just don't have the time right now to do that, and haven't for a few years now. So I actually started working again a couple of years ago, and I enjoy my work. It's my life purpose. This surfing, DreamBot runs is another ancillary purpose, and I do use some of this material in my therapy practice. But anyway, I wanted you guys to see that we actually do look at this. It is meaningful. And then last thing, or in conclusion, how do you interpret sorry, I lost Angie's face, so there we go. How do you interpret these linguistics? Well, I'm going to start going a little bit more just precise, like just take it for what it is, prepare for winter. Well, what does that even mean? I was thinking it was more like the storm or whatever. No, it's not like the collapse and all the whole world's. It's prepare for winter. Prepare your shower, make sure the pipes don't freeze, everything kind of winter oriented. And that was for Florida and Texas too. The southern states were getting hit by this as well. So it was precise. It was right on. Prepare for winter, literal. So anyway, and never rule out just literal interpretation for dreams and predictive dreams. You want to add anything, Ange?
Oh, you're doing great.
All right. Are you able to see the comments?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring your questions. If anybody, feel free to chime in. Maybe you have something to add as well. I don't know.
So question on, first of all, anything that anybody knows of that could enhance, let me finish. Anything that could enhance the surf reports, the accuracy, the triangulation. We used to be doing the Schumann resonance. I can't remember why I stopped doing the Schumann resonance. I think it was because the website was not giving me updated information anymore. I think that's why. But have you guys seen the acceleration of energies and frequencies, where the whole graph starts turning white? And I don't know how those are calculated. I don't know if they've got a grounding rod that's shoved into the earth and it actually reads the frequency, or is it somewhere up here and it's more like a coil that picks up the frequency, kind of like a radio? Well, if it's up here out of the ground, wouldn't that make it more susceptible to like 5G and satellite, and interference? I don't know. And I was thinking, if there's only one coil antenna that's reading the frequency, and you have this, even like a solar burst or some sort of energy weapon that we know that's out there, just happens to hit the coil, well, that looks like the earth is increasing in its frequency, but it may not be. Does anybody know how that Schumann resonance is read? Because I don't.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Someone was saying it was full up. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I remember hearing that it was just full up CIA op. Anything having to do with Schumann resonance was CIA orchestrated. I don't know how you'd prove that either. I take everything with a grain of salt, but I like to ask questions with it as well, not just bite off on it completely. I'll bite off on it carefully.
We have a couple of questions. Chris, is there a preferred site to use for entering the dreams? You need to explain that.
That's a good question. I've had a lot of people getting distraught about the National Dream Center not being able to log in, or no longer being able to get in, or they kept pressing the post button and then the dream disappears. And it's sad for me to hear that. I can't even keep up on my main therapy practice webpage, and there's no excuse. I just need to get somebody to fix the website. So to answer your question, the preferred site is National Dream Center, and it's pretty apparent. If you click on the menu dreams and submit a dream, I think is the first one. That is the best place, but I know that it's kind of broken. There's some other dream groups on Facebook that I have been using for the DreamBot runs, and that could also be a place. I'm wondering if we just take like a Telegram, or I don't know if my bot can even get onto Telegram, but I could try that link if it's a linkable thing. And here's where I'm kind of pitching that back to you guys. Like, what if we convert? We're trying to get Angie into the National Dream Center Facebook page, which I don't know why that's given us a big problem, but I think that would be a very simple thing to do. We'd have on our Facebook page, which we have around 2,000 followers there. why not just post your dreams there? But it's more of like a business page. So I don't know if that's even possible. I'm not a Facebook expert. Maybe you need like a group thing. Maybe that's a different entity in and of itself, but Facebook could be an option. What do you guys think? I don't know if I answered the question well enough.
Yeah, well, and we have so Terry talks about, her dreams being intensely personal when she does remember them. And I do know, like, one cue to try to remember your dreams is not moving. After you wake up, you're not supposed to move, and you're just supposed to absorb the dream. And that's incredibly hard for a lot of people to do that. But, keep your dream journal beside the bed. And don't move. But, she thinks that she's entered some of them, probably irrelevant to the whole. And they're also looking, asking, is anybody else feeling the collective heaviness or, in the atmosphere? For us, I think, we've talked this weekend intensely about it, how we really feel anew. I feel personally myself, the heaviness has really released. I don't feel a doom and a gloom.
Right around the time of the Rising Phoenix, or earlier than that.
Especially, well, and another thing is, both you and I kind of have a little heads up. Our energetic field picks up on it a little bit sooner than what it does happen and stuff. But overall, for me, there's just been this sense of anew. I could feel the phoenix. I can feel this energy of it just seems brighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is a future.
And how do we sort out that feeling that you have? Nope, that's a collective thing. I think it just takes intercourse, discussion around it to see, because a lot of times it is just a very personal thing, but other times you're feeling the effects from other people, like kind of like a radio. We're radio transmitters and frequency. If you're in a room, a lot of my empath clients can't be in a room, particularly that's crowded or chaotic, kind of like a bar. Can't be in there just because they're so picking up everything.
But I think too, it really takes tapping in, tuning in, and turning on, essentially. Part of my whole work is doing that and connecting to some kind of source, and essentially it is you. You need to be the beacon of light. You need to know that you're worthy of all of this stuff, and you came here to do this. And what are you projecting? I just want people to live in that light and love, the infinite light and love. And then radiating it, even when I was working had my salon, my motto was beauty begins within. You have to put good things into your body in order for it to reflect and look better on the outside. So it's just deeper work, and that whole essential, there's all these coined words right now, but the awakening, this is what energetically it's shaking people up. Wake up, tune into your own self. You have everything you need. It's all right inside. You just got to tap into it.
Well said. I've seen it on both sides. Work with a lot of just like psychotherapy clients as well. Most of my work is with mental health. And, there's a lot of people who kind of are like victims of the energy or victims of the outside environment and won't take responsibility for what you put in. They eat like crap, do crappy things, can't sleep. And then they are victims of all that. And then some sort of the reverse is true, where it takes both. It's a symbiotic relationship. Sometimes we're transmitting, sometimes we're receiving. And what kind of percentage is that? I don't know, maybe 50-50, should be 50-50. And a yin and a yang, between yin and yang. I'm proposing that we have different periods of time for the yin and yang. Certainly there's kind of a 24-hour yin and yang. You sleep you're supposed to sleep for 8 hours. That's 8 hours out of the day of yin. What's the other, if you're going to do a 50-50, you still need 4 more hours. Let's see, doing the math, 4 more hours of yin. Well, what does that look like? Probably meditation, maybe being with some other people, the people that you love, in a quiet sort of state. And I wouldn't say it's like watching TV, but that's not a great yin activity, in my opinion. Some people love TV. That's fine. But you're receiving. You got to be careful what you're receiving. Just like you got to be careful with what goes into your mind.
Speaking of the gaslighting yesterday, talking about, are you adding fuel to the fire? If there's anger and hate, are you projecting that? Are you doing that? Are you intensely so focused on all this stuff when essentially, you're looking at them and saying, I'm sorry that you're not at a point in your life that, you're holding on to other anger, but don't fuel it. Don't, it's essentially you are everything energy wise. And are you adding to what you don't want?
Yeah. Hate is a bigger energetic attachment than even love in a lot of cases, because the energy is more intense, or can be. Yeah. So the opposite of love isn't necessarily hate, because that's still entangling you. So something to consider.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Repulsion.
So not feeling heavy. It's just it's a different kind of heaviness, not a bad heaviness. We've got people looking forward to spring. I get it. I think we've now cleared the fog, and we are looking forward to different things. I think that's part of this Phoenix rising. It's.
I think it's going to be a kickoff this next week, a really just beautiful, perfect extension of the Phoenix. And, it was kind of an upward thing. We kind of talked about mental, but not really. But this next week, I think is going to be almost entirely very mental. I think, and I'm planning on talking about this in the surf report, but you guys get a heads up, is I think the air signs are going to enjoy it. I think for the most part, in my opinion. I think it's all the rest of the signs, mainly fire and maybe water, are probably going to be the hardest ones. In my opinion, I think it might feel like maybe even heavy to have to be up into mind or force you to think. And that just takes a lot of work for some of these other types. But for air signs,
if you are fire sign and you add air to fire, what happens? It makes that fire raise up even more, or torch out into different directions. And then with the water, it's air and water lifts you up into the clouds.
Champagne. But it can induce a lot of emotion for the water signs, because it works both ways. It's hard to separate those out, thoughts and emotions. Which one causes which? Neither. They come up together. I think water signs are more oriented towards feeling, and those air signs are oriented more towards just constantly thinking. And it's can be a very pleasant place for the air signs, particularly Aquarius. And I think I'm already starting to feel that.
We've had Northern Lady says, she's crying a little bit every day, and she needs to raise her, her vibrations, pull away from the noise. And that's where I talked about, what are you putting your intentions into, and starting the day off right, connecting to yourself, self-love. But it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. It's
Yeah, I think that's well said. And also, I don't know why. Just I'll say it because it seems like this needs to come out. A lot of the subconscious work is intending on cleaning and getting rid of and eliminating. But in my experience with a whole lot of clients with this, it tends to fare better when you can teach them just awareness. Awareness fixes every problem that's internal, even like physical pain. Awareness, and there's more to it than that, but awareness gives you choices. So if you're aware that a deep shadow is making you crave something that you shouldn't, or you don't want, or it's not helpful, or it's an addiction or something like that, the awareness that it's bubbling up gives you the option of choosing your outcome. But if you don't have that, you have a discomfort that's unconscious, or you have a thought that's unconscious and it's showing you, go do this thing. And every action is preceded by a thought. And so all this is unconscious, driving your behavior. Carl Jung called it, he said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. And so that his solution started with just sheer awareness. And that doesn't say any sort of cleaning. It's not necessary, according to a lot of that line of thinking. Carl Jung, Stephen Hayes, the ACT therapy, and then the DBT folks. Awareness alone is enough. You don't have to clean and detox. And now, for the physical body, detox. For the mental body, detox. That's all fine and healthy. But if I can't be happy until I've detoxed, that's a sign that you're trying to get rid of something that would be far better just to allow it to be there, just be aware of it. But it doesn't feel good, so we got to get rid of it. Just keep that in mind. It's not a perfect science, but a lot of us struggle against something that's unrealistic, like trying to get rid of a memory or get rid of a thought. Now that can happen, and hypnosis can do it. I've done it for a couple of clients. You basically just create a protection around that thought and drift it off into the mind elsewhere to where you never see it again. But is that really getting rid of it? It might just be at a deeper level, still motivating your behavior. So anyway, something to think about.
Yeah, I have this saying that I use a lot, and it's my AAAA program. Awareness. It starts with awareness, being aware, and there's different ways of doing that, even physically, just opening your eyes more, literally lifting your eyes up and opening, expanding your vision, but awareness, and then allow it to happen. Allow these things to come into your perception, and then accept that it's there, and then it leads to abundance. It's really open yourself up.
Well, if there is not anything else, consider you want to think about starting a guided meditation.
Sure. Yeah.
Or
yeah, I think we can definitely do that. Absolutely.
all right, whenever you're ready, and I'll eliminate my camera and have you go full screen or half screen with the live. I think this is cool. The live astrology chart. Love it. Mesmerizing. Take it away, Ange.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you, people, for showing up. I mean, wow, this is incredible to have people chiming in and being here, and thank you for the compliments on things. Yeah, forgive me on my talking situation. I still am going through a oral remodification, so I struggle a little bit with enunciations and things like that, but that's all a work in process. So first and foremost, I just want everybody just to, wherever you're at, and preferably if you can see the outside somewhere, somehow. You can stand, you can sit. Just first, get yourself in a cozy place, comfortable, and start tapping into some breathing, just noticing some breath work first. And wherever you're at, you can close your eyes and get comfortable. Just you can, wherever you're at. And then maybe, just open yourself up, like I said. Maybe put your hands to your side, open your palms, just receiving right now, receiving at this time. Just be here in your body, right here, right now. Just take a deep breath in. Just feel the energy. Just hold it. So breathe in and breathe out. And then with your feet, let them flat on the ground, wherever you're at. And I just want you to imagine with each breath you take in, you're sending your roots through your body and out the bottom of your feet. Breathe in, breathe out. Just imagine these roots like an ancient tree, just growing and going deeper and deeper into the earth. Breathe in, breathe out. And these roots, they're growing through the soil, through the rock, and into the underground, down into the waterways, growing deeper and deeper, expanding out with every breath. Breathe in, breathe out. And as these roots, they grow deeper and deeper into the earth, I just want you to receive the benefits. It's happening right here. Allowing the earth's energy just to go throughout your entire body. Feeling the nutrients in the deepest depths of the earth. Breathe in and breathe out. It's constant. It's dependable. It's always there, this energy of Mother Earth providing everything that you need right here, right now. Breathe it in, breathe it out. And as your roots, they continue to grow down to the very center, the core, fiery core of the earth. She provides everything you need. This earth energy rises through the roots. All these entanglements that have reached out and covered the entire earth. Bring it up into your body. Let this energy just stabilize and balance you. Breathe in. Breathe out. This warmth relaxes and eases any tension in your body, renews your body and your mind. Allow it to open it up and receive it right now. Bring it up through the feet, the bottom of the feet, feeling the warmth, this energy as it renews. Breathe in, breathe out, moving through each muscle, feeling it go up through the legs, into your organs. Maybe noticing any area that needs it more than any other place in your body. Feeling and spilling throughout, energizing, electrifying, raising the vibrations. Feel it coming upward through the solar plexus, into the lungs. Breathe in, breathe out. And I want you to concentrate right on the heart chakra, right here, right now. Feeling all the energy, all the nutrients pouring and spilling into the heart. Opening the heart with love and compassion. The earth is filling you up with everything you need. All the love. That's right. Breathe in, breathe out. Allowing this energy to flow up through top of your head as a light beam just connects you to the outer source. When the earth energy moves out the top of your head, flows upward and onward into the sky, leading you to the branches of heaven, connecting in the roots that are so strong, allows you to branch up higher, stronger, reaching. Breathe in, breathe out. These branches, they absorb the light from the moon and the stars. The light of the sky streams down to the top of your head. This white, pure golden light. It's filling your body with starlight and moonlight, moving into each muscle, every organ, down to the molecular structures. Breathe in, breathe out as it's pulsating through each vein, each artery. It's filling your body with light. Your body is a radiant light, vibrating with the energy of the heavens. Breathe in, breathe out. Now imagine with each breath, you bring into the earth energy through your feet, through your body, all the way up to the top of your head. Breathe in, breathe out. You pull the energy from the sky to the top of your head, to the bottom of your feet. Breathe in, breathe out. mixing and balancing the earth, the sky, the mother, the father, the male, the female, the yin, the yang. Bringing in all opposites together. Breathe in, breathe out. Following the flow of these energies that balance and support you, that renew, recharge. This energy that supports your being present right here, right now. Really intensely feel this energy, this lightness. Be here. Just hold on to that feeling. Let it sink into the depths of the soul. And at this moment, I want you to say to yourself or out loud, I am the creator and the destroyer and everything in between. I am the creator. I am free. Calling on all aspects of myself back home with love, light, and compassion. Breathe in, breathe out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Just take a minute to adjust. Wiggle your toes, your fingers. Taking in that last deep, deep breath in, filling up the belly. That's right. Just take a minute and just notice how you feel. And so it is. Amen, aho. I thank everybody for showing up today. Thank my husband for bringing me on as well. This is a new thing. Phoenix is rising. I'm ready. Let's do it, y'all. Thank you, surfers. Continue to join with us. Share it with your friends. And we'll see you again sometime.